In this video, I'll guide you through what to expect when you try to quit weed so you don't get caught off guard and basically your chances to quit increase. I'll give you a timeline and that way you will know what to expect and thus you will feel more secure on your journey towards quitting. Now, my timeline consists out of 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, and 3. Starting with the first one, phase 1 is actually like day 0 until day 3. See, in this phase, what the most important thing for you to remember is that your body has been used to cannabis. And so the moment you take it away, your system, your body will go like, oh my God, I'm dying. Maybe not literally, I'm over exaggerating. I'll give you a stupid example just to like really simplify it. Imagine like you've been like healthy and normal and suddenly one day I decide to like take away your arm away from you. So you don't have an arm anymore. Imagine that. If that would be the case, you'd probably freak out, you know? Of course, like there are people who can live with one arm and maybe like an extreme example of me, but the point I'm trying to make is like you will have to adapt and you will freak out and that's completely normal. So the way I felt when I was quitting, the first days especially, it felt as if 24/7 there was bothering me something the whole time, literally. And the way this manifested was my sleep got worse. I felt irritated all the time, like the smallest things made me angry. Like for some reason, I also felt super anxious. And so all of those happened together and I didn't really know like what I was going through, to be honest. I just know it felt like hell. And so prepare yourself for that mentally. Like it's a temporary phase, 3 days max, maybe 4. The first days are hell. The most important thing to remember in phase 1 is that your body is recalibrating, is getting used to trying to function without weed. Like certain pathways have been created inside of your brain that have been dependent on cannabis, THC, and so the moment you take that away, it's trying to find another way of functioning properly without THC. And so that's the main thing that I suggest you remember during your first days when you quit. And don't be surprised if it's for you maybe 5 days, maybe like for you it's 5 or 6 days. It all depends. Okay, next phase, phase 2. Basically, in this phase, your brain is still expecting weed. It's still dependent on it. It still didn't have it. And so here you actually go through peak discomfort, peak pain. Again, your sleep will be like disrupted as hell. I went through anxiety, so you maybe can also go through anxiety. Like you'll feel even more irritated. And the reason why is because your brain knows the solution towards fixing the discomfort. Basically, smoke again. Your body will do everything. Your brain will try to like convince you in the most immense ways to like roll a joint, smoke it, and feel better. Again, you will feel like shit. You will know the answer, or at least like the short-term answer to alleviate pain. And so you will do, at least your brain will do everything to convince you that you have to smoke. And because you don't, and if you like resist it, you'll have like this internal clash with yourself, which can cause you a lot of mental drainage, if that's even a word. You're going to get mentally drained, basically. Another thing you can also go through in this phase is that you feel like everything starts becoming meaningless. See, the moment you created the habit to smoke weed, and so you do everything with weed, like eating while being high, maybe like exercising, as crazy as that may sound, being productive, doing your work, everything with weed. The moment you take it away, it can feel as if you can't have purpose anymore to do anything. See, because you've been relying on weed for everything and suddenly you take it away, it can feel as if anything doesn't mean anything anymore. Nothing means anything, basically. Nothing has meaning, everything is meaningless, and so you don't want to do anything. You can even maybe feel a bit depressed. Maybe you feel that, maybe you don't. But again, it's important to remind yourself that this is a temporary thing. You just basically took away one of the main core building blocks your body used as a functioning mechanism away from yourself. And so the moment you do that, and of course you're going to feel bad. But again, it's important to remember yourself that it's temporary. Phase number 3. Week 2 and beyond. After 2 weeks of you not touching cannabis, you should feel a bit tiny better. Now, don't go crazy if that's not the case for you. Honestly, don't go crazy. Like maybe for you it takes 3 weeks. Maybe it takes 4 weeks until you start feeling a bit better. Up until 2 weeks, after 2 weeks of you not touching, you should start to feel a bit better. But if you don't, that's okay. It just means that you need a bit more time. Again, it all depends on how long you've been smoking, what your personal situation is, how your health condition is. Maybe like your health condition was already like bad, and because it was bad, you started smoking and suddenly like, okay, it felt as if it was not bad anymore, but now you quit and you start thinking like, okay, 2 weeks have been passing. Why don't I feel better? But maybe like your health was already like messed up and we just made you forget that, you know? It's important to take everything in consideration. And again, the whole reason why I'm saying this is to give you like the feeling of security and to understand that it's normal. Really, even though it feels like exhausting, like imagine like trying to quit weed and after 3 weeks you still don't feel good, you still feel the same way, you still feel agitated. I know it can feel very frustrating and exhausting, but that's part of it. It takes time for your body to recalibrate. Also, if you don't feel better after 2 weeks, maybe it's important to focus a bit on the basics. What do I mean by this? Basically, create a small routine that will support your lifestyle and your body in the most efficient way. Nothing crazy, nothing special, but again, just focusing on the basics, exercising, drinking enough water, like going to bed the same time. That's a crucial one, like regardless if you slept well or not, just like training yourself, training your circadian rhythm to like always wake up at the same time, because sleep is one of the most important things ever. Like prioritizing your sleep and having like a sleeping schedule can definitely do wonders. So having like a basic routine, working out, tiny bits, nothing extreme, can definitely like help you like move towards the right direction. And just remember, nothing is wrong with you, okay? That's the process. That's what it takes for you to recalibrate. That's what it takes for your body, for your brain to like adapt living without smoking weed, adapt to being alive without weed. And it's just a very painful, annoying process. I'll tell you a quick story to give you like a practical example of how I went through this. See, the thing is, when I quit, I actually didn't even know that there were like withdrawal symptoms, as crazy as that may sound. Like I was just not aware of them. I got used basically to feeling so shit, and I had no real explanation why that was actually. For me, how I went through it is basically like I had anxiety all the time, but I didn't knew it. I was depressed when I was younger, but I also didn't knew it. I actually still didn't knew it when I was quitting. I kind of had like an idea, maybe I was, but I was like not really like, I was like convincing myself of the opposite. And so I was going through all those symptoms, which thinking of it now is pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, like I didn't really like stress too much about it. See, when I was smoking weed, I don't know, weed helped me develop this I don't give a fuck mentality. And because of that, I came to such a point where nothing didn't matter anymore. And so I told myself, okay, regardless, if I feel shit when smoking and I feel shit when not smoking, I might as well just accept the fate that I'll feel shit all the time. And so what's the point of like putting expectations on trying to feel better? Again, that doesn't take away from the fact that if I felt horrible, I felt horrible, but at the same time, like just accepting the fact that, okay, that's it. The only way out is true. So I might as well just accept it and embrace it completely, unconditionally, without resistance. I think that can make the process way smoother. And at the end of the day, keeping in the back of your mind that it's a normal thing. It will pass, it will go. And those were the phases. Now, a big mistake that a lot of people make is putting the expectation to feel better. This on its own can create so much suffering, so much pain, like the desire to feel good. That on its own, even like if you wouldn't go through withdrawal symptoms and stuff, like that on its own causes pain, because think about it for a second here, okay? Like if you desire to feel good, that actually like automatically implies that you don't feel good. And it makes sense because you're going through withdrawal symptoms, like, of course, there is discomfort, there is pain, but there is also like another level or another realm of pain, which don't often gets addressed. And that's the mental aspect of pain or discomfort. See, oftentimes, and there is this quote, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know who exactly mentioned it, but basically what it comes down to is that we often suffer way more in our heads than actuality. And that is actually sometimes very true, I found out for myself. We oftentimes make it way worse in our heads because we overthink than it actually is, you know? Like imagine like if he didn't had like thoughts like animals. For instance, my cat doesn't have thoughts. I think she doesn't think. And so, you know, when my cat is in pain, for instance, like there was like an incident with some, I don't know, my cat had like problems with her liver and some, and so she needed surgery. And sure, she was like agitated, but most of the time she was quiet. She just went through the process. She didn't complain, and I'm not saying that she did not go through pain. She definitely went through pain and discomfort, but I'm pretty sure if she had thoughts, if she had the ability to loop on the situation, she probably would make it worse. There is also science to back this up. You know, like your thinking like definitely impacts how you feel. And so the whole point I'm trying to make is like, again, don't put the expectations on feeling better. Like, sure, take this as a small guideline. There are like other videos that will give you details if you really want that. But it's, again, the core message of this video is like, chill down, relax, it will go over. That's the biggest relief, actually. The biggest thing that made me feel better and gave me relief during my journey. It's a temporary feeling. It's temporary, it will be over. Anyways, that being said, if you struggle with sleep on your journey towards sobriety, I have a free guide that actually helps you with your sleep during the first week. It's a small guide, completely for free, with very actionable steps that you can take towards fixing your sleep. Not saying it's a magic pill, but it can definitely help you like reset your sleep and thus actually like make the process of you going through withdrawals way easier. Because if you can fix your sleep, which is actually like the most important thing or almost the most important thing together with exercise and having good food, if you can fix that, it will help you tremendously. It's something I definitely wish I had on my journey. So if you want to check it out, down in the description, just click the link and get it for free. That being said, thanks for watching, thanks for sticking, subscribe, like, do all the good things. If you had value from this video, appreciate it. Thank you. See you in the next one. Take care. Peace.